One of the most alarming phenomena I've witnessed throughout my years of practice is a person who appeared perfectly healthy one evening, only to be gone by morning. No preceding symptoms, no complaints of pain, just a blood clot, a silent, unseen assassin. This threat can fester for years while you go about your daily life, enjoying your tea, catching up on the news, planning your weekends, and then, suddenly, your heart or brain can no longer withstand the pressure. And what's truly disheartening is that in 80% of these instances, this outcome could have been prevented. That's precisely why today I want to share a simple, almost forgotten method that physicians once referred to as the morning shield for the vessels. It's not a costly medication or a trendy new remedy from the pharmacy. It's a common household item residing in your kitchen. A single clove, yes, garlic, but not just any garlic consumed haphazardly. It's not about simply eating it and expecting a miracle, but following a specific principle understood by ancient healers. When executed correctly, this small daily step in the morning genuinely promotes smoother blood flow, reduces the risk of clots, and even enhances nourishment to the brain and heart. However, missteps can lead to harm. Before you dismiss garlic as mere food, pause for a moment. This is a plant that ancient physicians from Egypt to traditional Russian healers worked with. Modern science corroborates its efficacy, confirming the presence of compounds that profoundly impact our vascular system and blood's clotting mechanisms. The crucial factor, however, is the methodology. How you utilize it determines whether garlic becomes a therapeutic agent or an irritant. Many have encountered the advice, eat garlic on an empty stomach, it dissolves clots. Regrettably, this very notion harbors the error that causes many to suffer gastrointestinal distress or experience the opposite of their intended outcome. Garlic does not dissolve existing clots, rather it aids in preventing their formation, but only when employed judiciously. Why do I speak of this with such gravity? Because after the age of 50, our blood vessels are no longer in their prime. Their walls have lost elasticity. Microscopic tears may exist in some areas, while cholesterol deposits may have formed in others. All of these factors create fertile ground for the development of blood clots. And if you think, well, I feel fine, so everything must be all right, you are mistaken. Blood clots do not announce themselves with pain, stinging, or any discernible signals. They simply grow until the situation becomes critical. This is where garlic can play a vital role. It's not magical, but it is intelligent, provided you also act with intelligence. The key is knowing the correct form and quantity that truly benefits your vessels, as opposed to posing a risk to your stomach, liver, or blood pressure. My patients frequently inquire, what if I just eat a clove in the morning? No, it's not that straightforward. Ancient physicians wisely stated, garlic heals not the one who chews it, but the one who prepares it correctly. And it is this time-honored yet nearly forgotten technique that I will reveal shortly, as it holds a secret that most remain unaware of. If you aspire to understand your body better and avoid lifelong reliance on pills, stay tuned. Please support this video with a like so that YouTube recognizes the importance of providing genuine knowledge to mature audiences, rather than mere folklore. When people hear the word clot, they typically envision something large and formidable, akin to a chunk of debris in a pipe. In reality, a clot begins as a microscopic spark. Imagine a blood vessel through which blood flows day after day. Blood pressure, stress, fried foods, alcohol, and sleepless nights, all these gradually abrade the inner lining of our vessels. Somewhere along this delicate surface, a micro-injury occurs. Blood, functioning as a diligent repair crew, immediately rushes to mend the site of damage. Platelets aggregate to patch the breach. As long as this process is contained, all is well. However, if the blood's clotting system becomes even slightly overactive, this repair effort transforms into a blockage. This is how a clot, capable of tragically interrupting life, begins to form. Garlic's intrigue lies in its ability to target this very mechanism, the behavior of platelets. It contains a compound called allicin. This active substance is generated when a garlic clove is crushed or finely minced. Allicin renders the blood more fluid, prevents platelets from clumping excessively, and improves microcirculation. It doesn't dissolve an existing clot. Instead, it helps prevent its genesis. This is a critical distinction. This is why the old adage holds true. Those who are friends with garlic have blood that flows freely. Scientific observations support this. Individuals who regularly consumed garlic in small, measured doses exhibited lower levels of fibrinogen, a protein crucial for blood clotting. This indicates that the clotting system itself becomes less viscous, allowing blood vessels to function more freely. Naturally, this effect is not as pronounced as with pharmaceutical interventions, but it is gentle, safe, and physiologically aligned. However, for this benefit to manifest, one condition is paramount. The garlic must be active. When you consume a whole clove without crushing it, the internal enzymes do not interact, and elixir is not produced. In essence, you've eaten a vegetable, but the therapeutic effect is negligible. Consequently, ancient physicians never consumed garlic whole. They would lightly crush it with a knife, let it rest for a couple of minutes to initiate the chemical reaction, and only then consume it. This simple yet vital step has been almost entirely forgotten by most. I consistently advise my patients, don't chase quantity, chase efficacy. One properly prepared clove offers more benefit than 3 eaten in haste. This is especially true after the age of 50, when the stomach can no longer tolerate such abrupt challenges. Now let's address the second crucial aspect, consuming it on an empty stomach. Here, individual tolerance varies greatly. Some stomachs are quite resilient, while others suffer from gastritis, reflux, or heightened acidity. If the stomach lining is inflamed, the aggressive compounds in garlic can trigger pain, burning, and heartburn. This is precisely why ancient physicians never administered garlic in its raw, unadulterated form on an empty stomach. They would mellow its effects by mixing it with a drop of oil, warm water, or a small piece of bread. This preserved its benefits while sparing the stomach lining. Incidentally, there's an interesting fact. In Tibetan medicine, garlic was considered a fiery substance. It was always tempered, combined with oil, milk, or honey to prevent its potency from causing internal burning. Modern medicine concurs with this understanding. If you wish to utilize garlic for clot prevention, it's best to consume it not as a sharp condiment, but as a gentle, easily tolerated extract. Here's a simple, safe approach that I frequently recommend to my patients. Crush 1 small clove of garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes to allow allicin to form. Then add a teaspoon of olive oil and a drop of lemon juice. Consume this mixture in the morning, not on an entirely empty stomach, but after a glass of warm water or a light piece of toast. This constitutes a gentle shield for your vascular system, free from shock and risk, yet brimming with benefits. Within a week or 2, you may notice subtle yet significant improvements. Your blood pressure might be more stable, leg heaviness may decrease, and your facial complexion may appear fresher. This is not magic, it's simply that your blood has become slightly more fluid and your capillaries are functioning more actively. However, it's vital to remember that if you are already taking medications, particularly anticoagulants like aspirin, warfarin, or clopidogrel, You must exercise caution. Garlic can amplify their effects, potentially leading to gum bleeding, nosebleeds, or stomach hemorrhages. Therefore, for individuals on such medications, consult your doctor for approval and use only the minimal dosage. No single foodstuff can replace diagnostic tests. If you are over 50, consider undergoing a coagulation test. This straightforward examination reveals how quickly your blood clots. With this knowledge, garlic can serve as a sensible, informed supplement to your health regimen rather than a blind gamble. Occasionally, patients ask, "Can I replace my medications with garlic?" No, garlic is not a substitute for medicine. It is a supportive agent. It works gradually, acting as a subtle background influence that enhances the resilience of your system. The true power of garlic lies in its consistency and moderation. A single day will yield no discernible results, but over a month, 2 or 3, you will begin to feel a difference. And it is at this juncture that many falter. I understand now, just crush it, eat it, and live without worry. Yet it is precisely here that the second, far more critical part of the narrative begins. Garlic is only effective if your blood and blood vessels receive all the other essential elements they require: water, movement, proper breathing, rest, and a balanced diet. Without these, its influence is impotent. This is precisely what ancient physicians consistently emphasized to their patients. Herbs heal those who help them work. What precisely must be integrated into your lifestyle for garlic to truly activate and serve as a guardian of your blood vessels, I will explain in the next segment. This is the hidden factor without which garlic will prove ineffective, and all your efforts will be in vain. When someone states, "I eat garlic, therefore I am protected," I always smile with a touch of melancholy. It's akin to fastening your seatbelt but then driving at 150 kilometers per hour on an icy road. Yes, the seatbelt is necessary, but if your entire system, diet, exercise, hydration, sleep, is not functioning optimally, garlic cannot save you. The fundamental element that renders garlic ineffective is the lack of blood fluidity. And fluidity is not dependent on miraculous foods, but on simple practices that almost no one wants to hear about: water, breathing, and movement. Allow me to clarify. Blood is not merely a fluid, it is a living tissue that transports oxygen and vital nutrients to every single cell. When you are sedentary, your blood circulates more slowly. When you consume insufficient water, it becomes thicker. When your breathing is shallow, your blood receives less oxygen and expels carbon dioxide less efficiently. All these conditions create an environment where platelets are more prone to clumping and your blood vessels age more rapidly. Garlic is only beneficial when it functions in synergy with an active flow, and it is you who create that flow. Ancient physicians wisely declared, "Food heals the one who moves," and this holds absolutely true. Consider a practical example. A 63-year-old man, a former truck driver, came to me complaining of heavy legs, fluctuating blood pressure, and high cholesterol. He stated, "I eat garlic every day, yet my legs feel heavy, my blood pressure is erratic, and my cholesterol is high." Upon investigation, it transpired that he barely drank any water, subsisting primarily on tea and coffee, a maximum of 2 glasses of fluid per day. He engaged in very little physical activity, mostly remaining at home. What was happening? His blood was becoming thick, circulation in his legs was sluggish, his vessels were congested, and his heart was working overtime. No amount of garlic could overcome this internal traffic jam. We implemented a simple regimen: a glass of warm water each morning before eating, a short walk after breakfast for at least 15 to 20 minutes, and some light breathing and stretching exercises. After 1 month, the man himself commented, "For the first time in a long time, I feel my head is clearer and my legs aren't aching. And the garlic is still there, but now it's actually working because my blood is moving." The mechanism is quite straightforward. When the body is dehydrated, blood volume decreases, while the concentration of cells and proteins increases. This makes the blood thicker and more viscous. Thick blood flows slowly, creating turbulence and damaging the vessel walls, prompting platelets to aggregate and seal the perceived wound. Consequently, less water leads to more clots, a simple matter of physics. Therefore, if you want garlic to truly benefit your vascular health, start with the most fundamental aspect: adequate hydration. After the age of 50, an individual requires approximately 30 milliliters of pure water per kilogram of body weight daily. This refers specifically to water, not tea, compote or soup, consumed in small sips throughout the day. This consistent hydration reduces blood viscosity and allows other health measures to function effectively. The second point is breathing. When you live under constant stress, your breathing becomes short and shallow. Your lungs operate at half capacity, and your blood receives less oxygen. Less oxygen means less energy and more stagnation. There's even a medical term for this: tissue hypoxia. It weakens blood vessels, elevates blood pressure, and increases the risk of clot formation. Just 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing can do more for your blood vessels than a jar of supplements. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale slowly for 6. Within a week, you'll likely feel calmer and your heart will beat more steadily. The third element is movement. You don't need to train for a marathon, but if you remain seated for more than 2 consecutive hours, blood in the lower half of your body will stagnate, particularly for those with varicose veins or leg swelling. Ancient healers warned, a leg that does not move invites a clot. Therefore, every hour and a half, take 2 to 3 minutes for some activity, a brief walk, climbing stairs, or performing 10 to 15 heel-to-toe rolls. These small actions are the cornerstone of true prevention. Garlic, in this context, acts as an ally, not a primary hero. And one more crucial point: if you consume garlic but your diet remains high in fats, heavy meals, excessive salt and sugar, the effect will be minimal. Why? Because fats and salt increase blood viscosity, irritate blood vessels, and elevate blood pressure. Garlic simply cannot overcome such a detrimental dietary backdrop. Ancient physicians consistently advised, first, clean your table, then treat your blood. This is why, in ancient recipes, garlic was almost invariably paired with something light, lemon, honey, or olive oil. This wasn't merely for taste, it was for balance. The acidity of lemon supports blood vessels, oil protects the mucous membranes, and honey softens the impact of active compounds. The result is a product that is both safe and physiologically beneficial. Remember this simple rule: garlic is not a soldier but a diplomat. It doesn't force its way, it regulates, but without your assistance, without a proper daily routine and movement, it has no one to negotiate with. If you're listening now and thinking, "I already know all this," don't be too hasty. Knowing and doing are entirely different matters. Start small: a glass of water in the morning, a short walk in the evening, properly prepared garlic consumed in a mild form, combined with calm breathing. Make this a habit for at least a week, and you'll notice your body feeling lighter and your blood pressure becoming more even. Then extend it to a second week, a third, and your body will gradually recalibrate. However, there's a subtler point that even experienced physicians often overlook. All these measures are effective only when the blood vessels are internally clean and flexible. If the vessel walls are rigid, inflamed, or have already accumulated cholesterol, garlic cannot unleash its full potential. So how can we restore vascular elasticity naturally without resorting to medications through diet and micronutrients? That is precisely what I will delve into in the next segment. We will explore a simple habit that can amplify garlic's effects several-fold and help your blood vessels truly come alive. Many people mistakenly believe that blood vessels are merely tubes through which blood flows. In reality, a blood vessel is a living organ that breathes, expands, contracts, and responds to mood, diet, and even our thoughts. When you feel anxious, your blood vessels constrict. When you laugh, they relax. And if your blood vessels have lost their elasticity, blood can no longer flow freely. This is when blood pressure rises, you experience ringing in your ears, heaviness in your legs, and fatigue, ultimately increasing the risk of blood clots. Garlic helps make blood more fluid, but if the vessel walls are stiff and inflamed, its efforts are in vain. It's like pouring clean water into a rusty pipe. The flow continues, but the pipe's integrity continues to degrade. This is why ancient physicians always said clean blood is necessary, but a flexible vessel is even more so. Why do vessels lose their elasticity? Over time, the inner lining of blood vessels, known as the endothelium, undergoes microscopic inflammation. High blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, excess weight, and stress all contribute to its gradual damage. At these sites, fats, calcium, and proteins begin to accumulate, forming plaques. The vessel loses its suppleness and becomes brittle. When it cannot adapt to changes in blood pressure, platelets are more likely to damage it internally, creating conditions conducive to clot formation. And here, garlic re-emerges not as a clot dissolver, but as a teacher to the vessels. Its active compounds help reduce endothelial inflammation, aid in relaxing the vessel walls, and contribute to a slight decrease in blood pressure. However, for this effect to be sustainable, blood vessels require two additional building blocks, omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium. Ancient physicians were unfamiliar with these terms, but intuitively they prescribed fish oil, flaxseed oil, nuts, and leafy greens. It's quite simple. Omega-3 fats make the vessel wall flexible and resilient, reducing inflammation, while magnesium helps vessels relax, improves blood flow, and reduces spasms. If your diet lacks these nutrients, your vessels become as rigid as old rubber bands, and garlic cannot exert its full power. This is why I consistently advise, if you are using garlic for vascular health, incorporate at least one serving of healthy fats daily, a small portion of mackerel or herring, or a spoonful of flaxseed or olive oil. Magnesium can be found in buckwheat, beans, spinach, cocoa, and pumpkin seeds. This straightforward combination renders blood vessels pliable, blood soft, and garlic's action meaningful. There is one case I will never forget. A 67-year-old woman, a retired teacher, presented with complaints of headaches, ringing in her ears, and fluctuating blood pressure. She stated, "I take my medication and eat garlic, but I see little improvement." I reviewed her lab results. Her magnesium levels were below normal, and her cholesterol was high. We did not discontinue the garlic, on the contrary, we kept it, but added magnesium in supplement form. We made minor adjustments to her diet, reducing excess salt and increasing fish intake. 3 months later, she uttered a phrase I recall to this day. "For the first time, I wake up without that buzzing in my head and that feeling of heaviness." This was not because the garlic had become more potent, but because her blood vessels had begun to function properly. Understand this, a blood vessel is like living skin from the inside. It requires nourishment, rest, and flexibility. Garlic assists, but it cannot act alone. Therefore, I often tell my patients, do not seek a miracle in a single thing, create a system. 1 clove of garlic in the morning, a bit of omega-3 in the afternoon, magnesium before bed, a walk, and your blood vessels will begin to breathe. Now let's discuss the psychology of blood vessels. Yes, you heard correctly. When a person lives in a state of constant irritation, anger, or fear, their blood vessels constrict. This is not a metaphor, it's physiology. Adrenaline causes arteries to contract, blood flows under elevated pressure, vessel walls become damaged, and no amount of garlic can save a vessel if a person is perpetually seething internally. Ancient healers were aware of this. An angry person cannot heal their vessels with herbs or garlic. Therefore, if you wish for your blood vessels to remain healthy, learn to let go. Deep breathing, a walk, a conversation with loved ones, a good book. These are not trivialities, they are forms of prevention. Incidentally, there's another gentle yet potent technique that enhances the efficacy of garlic and omega-3. It involves the contrast of water temperature and heat. Simply alternating between warm and cool water for your feet or hands effectively trains your blood vessels, making them more responsive and restoring their tone. Even a minute of alternating hot and cold water, especially in the morning, yields significant benefits. Try this. Warm water for 30 seconds, cool water for 10. Repeat 3 times, then vigorously towel dry your feet or hands, and you'll feel the surge of blood flow. It's a small action, but for mature blood vessels, it's a comprehensive exercise. If we consolidate all the principles we've discussed, you will arrive at a remarkably simple system. Garlic acts as a fluidity activator for blood. Water thins the blood and improves flow. Movement and breathing initiate circulation. Omega-3 and magnesium repair vessel walls. Calmness alleviates spasms. This, in essence, is true clot prevention, not just a single clove, and you're done. And when you integrate these principles, your body itself begins to function differently. Blood pressure stabilizes, your extremities become warmer, your mind clearer, and your sleep more restful. This is not the effect of pills, it is the restoration of natural equilibrium that we so often lose in the hustle and bustle of life. But I know that you are now eagerly awaiting the most practical aspect, how precisely to prepare garlic so that it truly becomes a vascular aid, does not irritate the stomach, and provides maximum benefit. There is an ancient method utilized by physicians in southern Russia and Central Asia. It is simple, accessible to everyone, and, most importantly, safe. Ancient healers consistently asserted, "Garlic heals not the one who eats it, but the one who prepares it." And this statement holds more truth than hundreds of trendy internet recipes, because garlic is not merely a spice, but a living laboratory. If handled correctly, it transforms into a gentle remedy for your blood vessels. If mishandled, it becomes an irritant to your stomach and liver. Many believe that the sharper the aroma and the more intense the burning sensation, the greater the benefit. In reality, the opposite is true. Beneficial garlic is active, but not aggressive. Garlic's power lies in a compound called allicin, which forms only when a clove is crushed, allowing the internal enzymes to interact. It is allicin that helps reduce platelet aggregation, improve blood flow, and combat microscopic inflammation in blood vessels. However, there's a critical nuance. Allicin has a short lifespan, degrading within 8 to 10 minutes of its formation. Therefore, crush and eat immediately is not just a saying, it's a physiological imperative. Now for the recipe that I frequently recommend to individuals of mature age. It is safe, does not irritate the stomach, and genuinely benefits blood vessels, the morning mild garlic elixir. Take 1 small clove of garlic. Not imported, but common, fragrant. Crush it with the flat of a knife to release its juices. Don't mash it into a pulp, just gently break its structure. Let it air out for 7 to 10 minutes. This allows the enzymes within to activate and produce allicin. Afterward, mix in a teaspoon of olive oil, preferably extra virgin, a few drops of lemon juice, and optionally, a little warm water or a tiny piece of bread. Consume this mixture not on an empty stomach, but 10 to 15 minutes after drinking a glass of warm water. This preparation method ensures you get all its benefits. The oil protects your mucous membranes, and the lemon enhances the vasodilating effect. The garlic works gently, without aggression. Ancient physicians referred to this concoction as a morning blood purifier. They didn't take it as a course of treatment, but as a regular habit, several times a week, recognizing that effectiveness lies in consistency, not in massive doses. Some added a drop of honey, not for sweetness, but to moderate its potency and support their liver. Others preferred warm water with garlic essence, especially in winter, to warm their bodies and boost metabolism. However, the core principle always remained the same: moderation and regularity. Now let's address common missteps made by adults. Firstly, consuming whole garlic cloves. This is ineffective. Allicin doesn't form and your stomach bears the brunt. Such garlic merely irritates the stomach lining. Secondly, eating it on an empty stomach when you have gastritis or hyperacidity, this is hazardous. It can trigger spasms, heartburn, and pain. If your stomach has ever reacted with discomfort, consume it only after a meal. Thirdly, combining garlic with alcohol or spicy foods. This potent combination damages the stomach lining and reverses the intended effect. Fourthly, storing the prepared mixture for days. This is futile. Allicin dissipates within an hour. Only freshly prepared garlic offers benefits. And now, an important clarification for those on medication. If you are taking blood-thinning drugs such as aspirin, warfarin, clopidogrel, or others, garlic can amplify their effects. This doesn't mean you must avoid it entirely, but the dosage should be minimal, perhaps 2 or 3 times a week, and only with a doctor's approval. For those not on such medications, this mild garlic elixir serves as excellent preventative care. Within weeks, you'll notice improved blood vessel tone, reduced leg heaviness, a sense of warmth in your hands, and normalized blood pressure. I often observe mature individuals seeking complex solutions, expensive pills, or miracle supplements. But the body doesn't need miracles, it needs consistent care. This small morning ritual akin to brushing your teeth is specifically for your blood vessels. There's another nuance few are aware of. The state in which you consume garlic is crucial. If you're agitated, rushed, or stressed, your body perceives even beneficial foods as stressors. For this reason, ancient physicians recommended taking 3 to 4 deep breaths to calm your pulse before consumption. This allows your blood vessels to dilate, enabling your body to absorb nutrients far more effectively. To amplify this morning ritual's benefits, consider a contrasting facial wash or a warm foot bath with Epsom salts in the evening. This will enhance circulation, ease vascular spasms, and promote restful sleep. Garlic works during the day and rest at night. Together they create balance. Occasionally, patients come to me stating, "Doctor, I'm doing everything. Garlic, oil, water, walks, yet my blood pressure remains high." Why? The answer is simple. Your blood vessels haven't yet accustomed themselves to being pliable. This requires time, much like muscles recovering from a new exercise regimen. The effects don't manifest on the 3rd day, but rather after 1 to 2 months. Yet they do arrive and they endure. Garlic is not an instant remedy, it's your ally in longevity, one of those subtle daily actions that quietly extend your life. Nevertheless, even with its advantages, there are circumstances where garlic should be temporarily excluded. Ancient physicians knew that when the body is inflamed internally, with fever, infection, or post-surgery, garlic can be an unnecessary irritant. Conversely, when the body is calm, fatigued, sluggish, or experiencing low blood pressure, garlic acts as a vital stimulant, invigorating blood flow and restoring energy. Garlic is a potent agent, and anything with power demands respect. As old physicians wisely put it, what heals can also harm if one lacks restraint. Many erroneously assume that natural equates to safe. However, nature doesn't categorize foods as good or bad. Everything hinges on context, the body's condition, and the dosage. Garlic is no exception. In maturity, the body differs from its state at 30. Digestion slows, mucous membranes thin, blood vessels become more sensitive, and metabolism isn't as vigorous. Consequently, what was once overlooked now requires careful consideration. If you consume garlic indiscriminately in large quantities daily, especially with fatty or spicy foods, it can transform from a helper into an irritant. Let's start with the most obvious, gastrointestinal disorders. If you suffer from gastritis, ulcers, reflux, heartburn, or colitis, raw garlic is contraindicated. Its essential oils irritate the mucous membranes, inducing pain, spasms, and burning. Even a single clove can trigger inflammation. In such cases, ancient physicians would prepare garlic in a calming form, either infused in oil or baked. In this state, it's gentle, yet still active. For instance, you can bake a whole head of garlic at 160 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. It will become sweetish, aromatic, and retain many of its beneficial compounds. This method is suitable for those with sensitive stomachs. Secondly, blood-thinning medications. As I've previously mentioned, garlic enhances the effect of anticoagulants. If you take aspirin, warfarin, clopidogrel, or even herbal remedies with similar properties, such as ginkgo biloba, excessive garlic consumption can lead to bleeding gums, nosebleeds, or stomach hemorrhages. Therefore, individuals in this category should consult their physician and consume garlic in a mild form, no more than 2 to 3 times weekly. Thirdly, low blood pressure. Garlic causes mild vasodilation. In individuals with hypertension, it can induce weakness, dizziness, and cold extremities. While not dangerous, it is uncomfortable. If you experience dizziness after consuming garlic, reduce the dosage or consume it only with meals, not on its own. Fourthly, liver and gallbladder conditions. Garlic stimulates bile production, which is beneficial for stagnation but detrimental in cases of gallstones or gallbladder inflammation. If you have cholecystitis or gallstones, avoid consuming garlic on an empty stomach. Opt for boiled or baked preparations, and no more than twice a week. Fifthly, preparation for surgeries and dental procedures. Garlic should be avoided for a week prior to any surgical interventions, including tooth extraction. Its effect on blood clotting can complicate efforts to stop bleeding. This is not an exaggeration. I personally encountered a case where a patient experiencing bleeding after an implant struggled to control the hemorrhage precisely because they had been consuming garlic daily as a preventative measure. Sixthly, pregnancy, breastfeeding, and certain thyroid conditions. Although this may seem tangential for a mature audience, it's worth noting that garlic can alter milk taste and irritate infants. In cases of thyrotoxicosis, it can accelerate metabolism, which is undesirable. Finally, allergies and individual intolerances. Some individuals report itching, headaches, an unpleasant aftertaste, or nausea after consuming garlic, even in small amounts. This isn't a matter of preference, but a bodily reaction that must be respected. If you notice any such symptoms, cease consumption. No food is worth compromising your well-being. Many elderly individuals make a mistake believing that more is always better. I'm accustomed to it. I eat 2 cloves daily and feel fine, they might say. However, the body is not a linear system. Sometimes more leads to worse. For a mature individual, the optimal amount is 1 small clove consumed not daily, but 3 to 4 times a week. This allows the compound to work gently without overburdening the stomach or liver. Ancient physicians possessed a keen sense of measure. They understood that the body thrives on rhythm, not extremes. Thus, they alternated periods of cleansing with other practices, one day garlic, another a herbal decoction, and a third day of rest for the organs. This is true wisdom. If you wish to determine if garlic suits you, there's a simple test. Observe yourself for a week. Do you experience heaviness or heartburn after consuming garlic? How does your blood pressure react? Does your sleep, mood, or appetite change? If everything remains stable, the food is compatible. If even one symptom causes discomfort, your body requires a milder, slower approach. There's also a more subtle indicator, warmth. When garlic benefits you, a sensation of gentle warmth spreads through your body, particularly in your palms and soles. When it's not suitable, you might feel cold, weak, or irritable. Listen to your body. It always provides guidance. Garlic is not merely chemistry, it's also energetic. It invigorates stagnant blood. However, if your body is weakened, it might deplete your remaining reserves. Therefore, during periods of illness, inflammation, or fever, postpone its consumption. But during recovery, periods of lethargy, coldness, when blood pressure is elevated and energy levels are low, garlic can reanimate your vessels. This is precisely why ancient physicians called it fire in a drop. This fire can warm you or it can burn you, depending entirely on how you handle it. So if you've already incorporated garlic into your life, don't aim to make it a panacea. Let it be a part of your wise, balanced system of vascular care. Mornings for water and movement, afternoons for rest and breathing, evenings for relaxation and gratitude towards your body. In this way, garlic will find its rightful place, quiet but steadfast. The older a person becomes, the clearer their understanding. Health isn't about pills, annual checkups, or mere luck. It's about daily, small decisions, how you begin your morning, what you put on your plate, how you breathe, how you sleep, what you think. Garlic is merely one symbol of such decisions, a small clove with profound meaning. It serves as a reminder that the body can be supported not by expensive remedies, but by attention. We've journeyed from myths of dissolving blood clots to the true essence of its benefits. Reflecting on our discussion reveals a simple yet powerful system that operates not through magic, but through logic, experience, and respect for one's body. Firstly, garlic doesn't dissolve blood clots, but it helps blood flow more freely, reduces platelet aggregation, and supports blood vessel health. Secondly, it works gently only when activated, crushed, steeped for a few minutes, and consumed with oil or lemon. Thirdly, it functions not in isolation, but within a holistic context that includes movement, breathing, adequate hydration, proper sleep, and tranquility. Fourthly, blood vessels need not only cleansing, but also nourishment. Omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, greens, fish, and nuts all contribute to their elasticity and vitality. Fifthly, moderation supersedes fanaticism. 1 clove, 3 to 4 times a week, is sufficient if other aspects of your health are well managed. Sixthly, there are conditions when garlic should be temporarily avoided: gastrointestinal ailments, anticoagulant use, low blood pressure, impending surgeries, and acute flare-ups. That's it. No magic, no complex schemes, just straightforward actions that restore bodily equilibrium. I often tell my patients, the body is not an adversary, but a partner. It strives daily to keep you alive. Your task is simply not to interfere. When you support it gently, it rewards you with longevity. Blood pressure stabilizes, blood circulates more easily, sleep deepens, and your mood brightens. This isn't because you've discovered a miraculous product, but because you've begun living mindfully. Perhaps you're thinking it's too simple to be true. But therein lies the power. Ancient physicians knew that complex treatments offer one-time solutions, while simple ones provide daily benefits. Garlic, water, movement, and calmness are not mere habits. They are a way to regain self-control. Try this for the next 7 days. A small experiment. In the morning, a glass of warm water and the gentle garlic elixir. During the day, 20 minutes of walking and deep breathing. In the evening, a warm foot bath and quiet time without your phone. After a week, you'll notice changes, perhaps subtle but real. Your body will begin to respond, signifying that you are once again working in harmony with it. I've seen hundreds of people who started with small steps and transformed their lives. Some discontinued their blood pressure medication, others could ascend stairs without breathlessness, and some simply began sleeping peacefully. All of this is a result not of pharmaceuticals, but of self-respect. Understand that preventative care is not tedious routine, but a form of self-love. When you care for your blood vessels, you are caring for your memory, your heart, your brain, and every moment of your existence. Garlic, in this context, is not the lead actor, but a dependable assistant. Small, humble, yet possessing character. Perhaps you'll recall this conversation in the morning when you open your cupboard and see a head of garlic. And maybe you'll smile, thinking, all right, I'll try it intelligently. Crush it, wait 10 minutes, add a drop of oil, inhale the aroma. It will be more than just food. It will be a signal that you've chosen mindfulness. May this become your new, quiet habit, free from fanaticism, but imbued with respect, not for fashion or online advice, but for your heart, your vessels, and a long, clear life. I want you to remember that the greatest aspects of health are quiet. The quiet morning water, the quiet breath, the quiet garlic on bread, the quiet gratitude for the body that serves you daily. True prevention begins here, not out of fear of illness, but from a desire to live. Take care of yourself. Your body remembers everything. Give it a chance to reciprocate with health and longevity.